Did it, man. So we're on day 6. I think this is Saturday morning, and I'm still feeling pretty rough. The Imodium hasn't touched whatever I've got, so I think for the sake of the group, I'm going to travel in the support van with Glenn today. I'm going to put the bike in the back because I'm still having dizzy spells. I feel really weak. Yeah, I just need another day probably to get over it, which is a real shame, but I don't want anything to happen on the bike, and I don't want to spoil it for the other people in the group that are riding, so that's what I'm going to do. And we're heading west now from here, so I'll show you a bit of that, but this time it's going to be a view from a van, not the view from a bike. I'll be interested to see how this is done, because I'm always amazed at when we're on the bikes, considering how fast we're going sometimes, you always seem to be
not too far behind.
Not too far behind, yeah. Sadly for the guys riding, it started out as a wet day, and that didn't really change throughout, so in some respects I was kind of glad I was in the van. So that's the next day done. Sadly for me, it was a day spent in the van, although there's no way I could have done that ride today. Even now I've still actually got the shakes, which is not necessarily a good sign, but the new place looks fantastic, and I'll show you my room. So a nice big bed, got a little seating area outside, toilet, sink and shower. And this is our last stop before we hit Marrakesh tomorrow. I think we've got one of the passes to do in the morning, and then we head into Marrakesh, where we've got another rest day to have a look around there. Tricky for the guys riding today. We'd had so much rain. There was a lot of Moroccan soap around, really slippery looking stuff. Pretty tricky, but yeah, that's all part of the adventure. So we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you. There you go.
Morning folks, day 6 of riding today. I think it's Sunday. I'm feeling a little bit brighter. Things have started to subside. We had an incredible storm last night, but that means we've woken up to beautiful blue sky. I'm just gonna grab a bite of breakfast and get ready to go, and I'm gonna ride again today. I think I feel up to it. We're heading now towards Marrakesh, 325 kilometers today. We had a huge rainstorm last night, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful today. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of mud washing out across the road, and it becomes what they refer to as Moroccan soap. So you get sand and silt with the water, becomes super slippery. I'm feeling better, still a little bit sweaty. Already we've got some issues by the looks of it. Okay, we have a lot of water over the bridge. First challenge of the day starts a couple of minutes in.
If you feel comfortable passing, up to you. But it's the guys apparently said it's quite strong.
Oh really? Okay.
So we'll try and keep it to the right because it might pull us a bit.
Okay.
But I'll go get my friend.
Everything for YouTube, mate.
Cool. Good luck. You can do it.
Woo!
We'll all go together.
All go together, okay. Okay, well, who says we're not doing adventure riding? It's not a very deep, but the water flow is quite strong apparently. You do feel it. Yep, it's pulling me to the left. Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah, pretty easy. Although I haven't got my waterproof trousers on, so that's a shame. Wasn't too bad, was it?
That wasn't bad.
For the future, right?
Hey, how comes you guys haven't got wet legs?
We're good. Yeah,
That's not fair.
Like if you do it really professionally, yeah, you're not getting wet. Like,
That's the brains of the operation. What a beautiful place, sir. Look at this. Whew. So that was our first little challenge of the day. Obviously the problem was the water. It wasn't necessarily the depth, but it was the speed that it was coming across the bridge. And I've got a few people here that haven't done water crossings before, are not used to that movement on the wheel. We needed a little bit of instruction from Pablo and Joanne. It was really good. Everybody knew what they needed to do. The guys were there to help, and that's been the really good thing about this trip, is the organisation. Pablo as our leader, ride leader, has been fantastic. Patience of a saint, and will just be super helpful. And Joanne as well, they can't do enough for you. As I say, you know, I was taken ill and they were fine. I put the bike in the back of the van, but I'm feeling not quite fighting fit today, but good enough to get back into it. And look at the scenery. It's quite a big step, isn't it? Okay, so trickiest water crossing.
High five, man. Huh?
I found the mud.
You did it, man. All for the vlog. For the gram.
What happened? You had to stop it.
No, I just got to that bit and I just didn't keep my momentum up, and then I hit the mud and it slowed me down even more. And then as soon as I did that,
That's the pro level. That's the...
yes.
All right. Congrats, y'all did it, huh?
You did this one.
This one was stronger, guy.
Yeah. That step made it tricky. Yeah.
And tricky because it had that little bumping thing in the middle.
Yeah. But the scenery on this road is amazing, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. So, beautiful ride that, some fantastic scenery, some challenging water crossings. Woke us up first thing this morning, and now we've arrived at that first lunch stop, and take a look at this. Not the transit van, obviously.
Are you filming my pretty feet?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And wringing your socks out. We are pretty much at the peak of the pass. Temperature's dropped to 8 degrees. We've had a bit of rain. It's windy. We are at the Col du Tichka. So this is the highest road pass of the Atlas. So now we have the descent and then on to Marrakesh. fantastic day to get back on the bike, having missed out on yesterday's riding. What's been good about the tour as well is that there's no pressure to get anybody to do anything they don't want to do. We're lucky, I guess. It's a good group. Everybody seems to be happy with the pace. It's been done at a touring pace. You know, we're not racing. When you get the opportunity to open the bike up, then we're doing that. If we've got, you know, long pieces of ground to cover off. But other than that, it's done at a very manageable pace. Well, that was an eventful day, but what a great day it was for riding. We had a bit of everything. We had the water crossings were a bit more challenging to start off. We had the mountain passes where temperatures going up and coming down, but really was a good mix of riding. The scenery is unbelievable. You'd just be blown away if you've never been to Morocco before, and you don't just sort of fly into Marrakesh and do this and go away. There's so much to see, and we've ended up in this place now, which is like a little oasis. It looked a bit dodgy riding in, didn't it? I was wondering, where the hell are we going? Well, when you get here, we've got these little individual rooms here. There's a pool in the middle there. Got my own little table and chairs. No, that's not my bed. So now we're in Marrakesh. We've got another rest day. We're going to chill out this evening. I think we've got dinner a little bit later, but we've got time to decompress and do what we need to do. And then tomorrow we're going to get a shuttle or a taxi into the centre of Marrakesh and do the usual sort of touristy sightseeing. And then from there we move on to Rabat and then up to Tangier before heading back to Malaga to wrap up where we started. On the side
Special one. It's more like cardamom or cinnamon, or nutmeg, mace, cloves. Sorry. This to make a special like dishes, like sweet lamb tagine with dried fruit. To make also pastilla.
Oh, that's red.
And it gives you a red shiny lipstick.
Wow. It's been. No, first gear. No, first gear. No, what's my? Maybe next time. Maybe next time. We're all starting off that.
Beautiful, most tasty, amazing dessert ever.